quite a time ago there was a song, "What's That Behind the Green Door?" Well, what we're going to find today is that there's a piece of zero behind that green door. And this piece of zero we're calling art versus waste.
Right now, presently, we have Drew, who's a printmaker, papermaker. We have Kara, who's a printmaker, and she's also a painter. Terry's a furniture maker, printmaker. She also does paintings and drawings. And I do paintings and a little bit of photography. And Josh does photography, video, and found art.
Tell us about what you do.
I build full-scale installations, and what that is, traditionally people know sculpture, which is basically anything 3D. You can put that in your bathroom, you know, in your front yard, wherever. An installation kind of incorporates the whole environment. Basically, what I did is I called up all the all the businesses around this Burlington area and got all the donations, anything that they were going to throw out. I called carpet places. Can I use your samples? They say, yeah, these are last year's. Take them. Vinyl, the guys that cover seats in restaurants, they're like, these are all the scraps. You can have these. I used plywood from people throwing out stuff working on the church in my town.
Now, do you have a thing about waste? I mean, is this just a convenience for you, or do you feel you're sort of a kind of mission to...
No, it's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
We're messing this place up. And so the first thing I thought about is what causes this, you know? And it's overconsumption, where it's taking our resources and just burning them. And one thing I always wanted to do is take what people would throw out and bring it back to them again. So instead of having the landfills and all that, they would actually want this stuff again. So I was kind of a, you know, an intermediate or whatever, a mediator into, instead of throwing it out, bringing it back, you know?
And producing something worthwhile, something beautiful.
Exactly.
Out of rubbish, out of what other people thought was rubbish.
There's different ways to make art. Then I'm not going to say there's one versus another, but one is to come up with a preconceived idea of art. Let's make a marble sculpture. So you get your marble and you kind of design it all. When you work with found materials, it's a totally different kind of thought process. You work with what you have, and that's always been a big thing for me. Instead of dreaming up something and going to get it, buying it and bringing it in, work with what I have. And it's very interesting. I might end up with a tailpipe, work with this. I might end up with fabric, work with this, you know.
Tell us about some of the materials that you had in your hand. What did they become in this room?
Well, I called a tile factory, and they sell the big tiles for, you know, bathrooms or whatever. And I asked them, could they give me, and they said no, but we have samples that we give out all the time to anybody who asked them. So I got all these samples, and what I did, there's a little picture of a bathroom. It was over on this wall over here, and I kind of made a tile wall just like a bathroom would have out of these little tiles. So that's one.
Yeah.
Another one, I took this kind of cheap plywood. That's not the greatest stuff in the world. Not many people like it. It's not good working material, and I made trees out of it. That's what I love, is taking something from our everyday and changing it.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind every time that, wow, I could have done that. Like, there's a teeter-totter in here, which was a piece of wood. Well, if you look at it, the materials, anybody would have just said that is garbage, and it goes out to garbage. But more people had fun on that. Bigger smiles in Burlington were had because of that, you know.
What is a teeter-totter?
Seesaw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they enjoyed that. Yeah.
Oh, they loved it. I mean, everybody was riding that thing. And that, to look at it, it was just sitting in a dumpster the other day, you know.
Yeah.
I like to do monochromatic prints using woodcuts onto handmade paper. So what I do to make my paper is I take old linens and old jeans and fabrics from the local thrift shops that they're going to discard.
So you're saying, after they've used the old clothes and they sold the old clothes back for reuse, and after they've recovered some of the material for other uses, quilts and things, you come in and take the junky stuff that's left after that and convert it into a pulp.
Yeah. You start by cutting the jeans up, and what you want to do is break the jeans apart to turn it into a pulpy mesh. You really have to like transform the the composition of it. And so you then cook it, put it in a big jug or a big cooking pan pot, and then you add like some soda ash.
Soda ash is sodium hydroxide.
Yep. And that helps clean it and helps loosen up the fibers. Yep. Break up the cellulose. And then you're going to take that, clean out all the soda ash out of that with a hose, and then you're going to slowly add it to this beater.
To the beater.
While circulating water.
Okay.
And then this thing slowly grinds it down into into the pulp that you see here.
So now what was the clothing that went into that?
This is a pair of jeans.
Pair of jeans.
Yeah.
We're looking at a bucket of jeans. Okay. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So once you've got this pulp, then what do you do?
Okay, so then you have, like, what I do is get many different colors of pulp. So I go out and find like a gray pair of pants or a blue pair of pajamas or maybe a purple shirt or something like that. And I use those different types of pulp that I create to make a landscape kind of backdrop. So I'm going to create this purple cloud by kind of pouring the pulp in there. And what happens is, because it's flooded, I can kind of just generally pour this in, and I can move it around, move the pulp around after I put it in there. And then you drain it, and all the water pours out, settling the pulp on top of this screen. Okay. And then you press it using felts and let it dry by air. The pulp is dried on the screen, and we're going to slowly pull it off. Because it's dry, you can do this. Just got to make sure it doesn't tear.
Eureka.
And eureka. And then what I do is I print on this using wood block kind of wood cut.
This is just the background.
Yeah, this ends up being the background for wood cuts. It's kind of neat to take something that has no value and it's about to go to a landfill and actually give it some substantial amount of value through using it again.